Good morning, family. As I told you on Sunday, I wanted to bring you a testimony of one of our congregants and what happened to her as we were going through prayer meeting. This happened in March, on March 20, and we were having an online prayer meeting. She was at her home just engaging on Facebook, and then something happened, and I don't want to give anything away. I want to have her say it. So, good morning, Danielle. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. So go ahead, just tell us what occurred.
So prayer meeting was on the Friday, and one day early that week, I think it was the Tuesday, I was doing something in the kitchen. I broke a cup, and in the cup cut me in my palm. And as I was going through the week, it was really irritated. So I'd been going to work, I'd been going back and forth and in and out of buildings. And I had to constantly be sanitizing my hands and I had to constantly be washing my hands because that was in the early stages when we're really trying to figure out how to manage the COVID.
COVID, right.
So it was constantly underwater. And as the week went on, I kept looking at it and saying, boy, this is just not the right time to have this kind of injury because my hand is constantly wet and I don't think it's getting better. When I got home that Friday night, I looked at it and it looked a little worse. And I was saying to the Lord, boy, I don't know when this thing is ever going to get any better because it's constantly being exposed to water.
Right.
I got ready for the prayer meeting, sat down, just started participating. I remember that Auntie Esther had talked about healing, and then you came and you did communion with us, and then Pastor Joan came and did a prayer for healing. And the prayer meeting started at about 7. At a little before 9, I had to get up and I was doing something with my hands. And when I looked at my hand, I realized that the cut had started healing. And the way it looked when the night started was not what it looked like. I could barely see any irritation. It wasn't hurting. And I just kept staring at it because at this point I was saying, this cannot be happening. Is this really happening? Is this happening? And I was just staring at it for the rest of the night. And by the time I got up the next morning, there was a small spot on my hand. It was barely irritated. I could put alcohol, anything on it, and it wasn't irritated anymore. And I was just so excited about it because it had been bothering me all week and it was just gone. So I was just so grateful for it. I was really happy.
Yes. Praise the Lord. So why I wanted to bring this to your family is because based on Danielle's testimony, she experienced a healing while at home. She wasn't even asking for the healing. She was just talking to the Lord about her hand. And between all of the interactions and just joining in the prayer meeting, her hand got supernaturally healed in one day after just one whole week of, you know, um, all kind of misery.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring that to you because it's a recognition that there is no distance in prayer. That this Friday, we're going to do a healing prayer and just some prayers over the nation as part of Good Friday. And I wanted to hear that there's no distance in healing. We wanted to just, our prayer, we wanted to just join in and just agree with us and let us see what God does in your midst, in the midst of your society, in the midst of our nation, in the midst of the world. So see you on Friday. And thank you very much, Daniel. Very powerful testimony.
Thank you. I was happy to come.
All right. All right. Bye, family. See you again next week.